Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. Match day 2 of the Premier League is upon us. Friday night football, Monday night football, we got it all. We've got football back in Germany. The Bundesliga kicks off on Friday afternoon, and we have football back in Italy with Serie A kicking off on Saturday. I'm Andrew Passaro. We got a fun slate for you today. Got 5 games that we'll talk about. We'll talk about both teams to score parlay. And by the way, if you want more picks, I started a Patreon last week. For $5 a month, you get 4 extra episodes. I'll have an extra episode every week with more picks, more parlays, a whole bunch more. So go check that out if you're interested. Let's dive into it. We start with Bayern Munich. They are taking on RB Leipzig on Friday afternoon. I think this is going to be a great game, a really fun game in the Bundesliga. Two teams that tend to score a lot of goals, when they play. I'm on both teams to score an over 2.5 at minus 135. It's hitting 8 of the last 10 matchups. I think the over 3.5 is in play here. Harry Kane, anytime goal scorer, is like minus 235. Not even remotely close to playable. In terms of shot props, Elise, we talked about him last week on the pod when they took on Stuttgart. We took that on. We talked about that in the Patreon episode. Tons of shots. I think he had 6 shots in the game against 5 or 6 shots against Stuttgart in the Super Cup. So 3 Elise shots with 1 Luis Diaz shot on target is plus 107 if you're looking for something else. But that's what I like there. Goals, both teams to score. Should be a fun game. Jumping to Saturday morning early. It's Manchester City. They are taking on Tottenham. I'm excited for this game. I'm bummed that it's the 7:30 kickoff, but based on the way that both of these two teams probably played the best opening game of the season last week in the Premier League. Manchester City thrashing Wolves. Tottenham taking apart Burnley. Richarlison starring. We'll talk about that in a second, but I'm on both teams to score and over 2.5 again. Look, I was impressed with the way that Tottenham played in this game. Brentford have been a team under Thomas Frank here, real quick. Brentford were a team that played well against a lot of the top clubs. Maybe not always getting wins, but having good performances. I think with some better pieces at Spurs, they can pull off a goal here. So maybe if you're looking for a better number, it's Manchester City and both teams to score, but I like both teams to score on over 2.5 at minus 130. Richarlison, 2 shots on target is plus 300. He's played in 2 games so far for Tottenham this season. He's hit that in both games. I don't know everything about his 100% chance that he's going to start this game. So, again, look out for that one. The other one that I'm looking for, I was very impressed with him. Tijani Reinders, 2 shots at minus 135. He had a very good game against Wolves last weekend. With no Rodri, he's definitely going to start in the midfield. And again, as we saw at AC Milan, he's a guy who loves to come forward in that midfield. Score or assist is plus 130. I don't think that's good enough, but I like 2 shots at minus 135. I think that's also a really strong parlay piece for the weekend. We'll jump to Monday, and this is I don't it's not a derby game, but the storylines surrounding this game on Monday night in the Premier League could not have come at a better time. Newcastle are taking on Liverpool. These two teams played 2 great games in the Premier League last year. Newcastle obviously beat Liverpool in the cup final last year. And then on top of that, you got the Alexander Isak drama just happening in the background. I think St. James's Park is going to be up for it. This could be, Newcastle and Liverpool have had some legendary Premier League games over the years. I think this is another one that to look out for. Now, here's the thing. There are 2 things to look at for this game. Liverpool, Jeremy Frimpong came out today. He has a hamstring injury. He is going to be out through the international break. Connor Bradley picked up a knock before the season kicked off. Hasn't featured yet for Liverpool this season. Joe Gomez hasn't played 3 straight games after hasn't trained for 3 straight days after coming on in that game against Bournemouth over the weekend. And they tried Endo at that right back position, and he looked terrible in that 10-minute period. That is exactly where Liverpool lost all the pace before Joe Gomez came on, and that is 100% where Bournemouth kind of turned the game on its head. I still like Liverpool money line at plus 100. I don't other people may not. I just think that Newcastle are still missing. They don't have a striker. Like Isak is out. They sold Callum Wilson. They're going to try to play Anthony Gordon as a striker, and I have Anthony Gordon props. Give me a second. We'll get there. But they don't have a striker. And I don't think Anthony Gordon playing through the middle is going to be enough. They just brought in Jacob Ramsey, who can play in off the left, so I guess you could play him on the left with Harvey Barnes. I don't know. I think Newcastle are missing enough pieces. I think either of the wingers who start this game, you're probably good for maybe a shot on target parlay from the both of them or two shots parlay. I think Liverpool are going to struggle on the wings. Um, but I do definitively like Hugo Ekitike anytime goal scorer plus 140. Anthony Gordon always has a good game against Liverpool, whether he was at Everton, whether he's at Newcastle, it does not matter. He came to that Liverpool academy. He's best friends with Curtis Jones. He did not get, he wants to be at Liverpool. He's a boyhood Liverpool fan. Always has a good game there. Score or assist is plus 140. That's not bad. I like that a lot. Two shots on target at plus 260. I think I might have to play that. Both teams to score in over 2.5 at minus 145 isn't terrible. I think the over 3.5 is in play here again. I think this could be a 2-2. As a Liverpool fan, with just the players out and kind of the lack of rhythm that Liverpool have gotten off to this season, based on, the Community Shield and last week against Bournemouth, I want to win, but a draw is not the worst result here. So money line at plus 100 isn't terrible, but I like goals. We'll jump to Italy. Roma are taking on Bologna, which is like honestly like it's a decent little game for Serie A this weekend. It's probably the best of all. Like none of the big teams are really playing anybody. Roma Bologna should be fun. I like both teams to score at minus 116. Hitting three straight head to head between these two. Additionally, like Bologna lost some pieces, but they still Orsolini is still one of the best Italian wingers in the league. They're just a well organized team. I think they're going to be okay this year. Kind of still challenging for that like Europa League, Europa Conference League qualification. I expect Bologna to do okay. Roma should win this game. They really should. Their money line, I think, of like plus 125. I don't mind that at all. I do like team total over 1.5 at plus 135. Roma hit that both times last season against Bologna. Bologna sold one of their best defenders in the offseason to Napoli. So I still like Roma to score goals here. I'm bullish on this Roma team. I like them to finish top four. We talked about that earlier this summer. I do think that they're one of the best four teams in Italy. And Gasparini's taken over. It's home debut for them. We'll see how he does. It should be a fun game on Saturday. Going to Como, they're taking on Lazio. Como is a team I'm very bullish on. I think they can make top six. If there's a book that is offering you top six and you get Como like plus 300, I would take that. But I like the money line here, plus 145. Lazio to me, it's kind of the same team, bringing back an older manager. I don't think they've done enough in the transfer market. I think Como have spent almost more money than anyone in Italy this year. I'd have to look and see who's really, probably Napoli have only spent more. But Como, they're fun. And Nico Paz is no joke. They brought in a lot of other talented youngsters. Cesc Fabregas has this team moving in a really fun direction. Como team total over 1.5 is plus 150. I like that. I think you could play both teams to score and over 2.5 here as well. Both teams to score is definitely like worth playing. Um, and then again, I think you look at like Nico Paz isn't worth any of the props, but look at who starts. They brought in that winger from Betis, who's very good. He's a guy you could look at score or assist. Diao score or assist at plus 160 is worth looking at. But I don't know. I like Como to get a win early and kind of show teams in Serie A that they're not playing around this year. Let's go to the both teams to score parlay. It's three legs. It's like plus 260 this week. We're going to the Bundesliga. Union Berlin, Stuttgart is our first leg. We saw Stuttgart give up goals to Bayern, but again, these are two teams I think they played last year. Both teams to score hit in both games. Leverkusen are taking on Hoffenheim. I think it's like 8 of the last 10, and I think head to head have gone both teams to score. And then we close with Philly and Chicago. We know Chicago just um, loves both teams to score. And Philly, I mean, look, they're a good MLS team. It should be a fun one to close that parlay out with on Saturday. Um, that'll be it for us, guys. I will be back next week. We'll have more picks. And then on top of that, like I said, I have more plays for the weekend. I've got a couple more in the Premier League, some other plays in the Bundesliga that I'll have out over on the Patreon. Go check that out. Until next week, best of luck, everybody. Have a good weekend.